Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is obviously start with the brows. I always start the brows first because I feel like it frames the face a bit better. So I'm just using the Anastasia Dip Brow Pomade on an angled liner brush. So here what I've done is place some micro pore from the sort of corner of the eye up to the corner of the eyebrow. And what I've done is just taken a little bit of Makeup Geek's Cocoa Bear on a Laura Mercier ponytail brush, and I'm just softly buffing that through the crease. That's done to create a transitional colour so that when we start placing darker colours, you've got a transitional colour there first to sort of create a gradient effect. Here what I've done is taken a MAC 217 and I've taken Makeup Geek's Bitten, so it's like a really sort of deep kind of burgundy red, and I'm just softly buffing that again through the crease, so starting to place down a little bit more deeper colours. Then what I've done is taken a MAC 242 brush and I've taken Makeup Geek's Grandstand and I'm placing that on the inner section of the eye, so the inner sort of third as such, and that's to sort of slightly brighten that inner corner. I've taken a liner brush and Laura Mercier's Noir gel eyeliner, and I'm just placing that down. I'm not being too neat with it because I know I'm going to thicken the line, so I really just want to get the liner really into the roots of the lashes, and a tight line with the same brush as well, so that we have a kind of nice base to start working with, and then I'm going to start to thicken and shape the eyeliner. So I've now removed the micro pore, and what I'm going to start to do now is build up using blacks and deeper browns through the sort of corner of the crease, as you can see here. So I'm now starting to shade and define that area. So just going to be using literally just some black eyeshadow and a mixture of the Cocoa Bear and Bitten, and a little bit of a dark brown eyeshadow. You can use anything. I mean, in particular I used Laura Mercier's Noir eyeshadow and Anastasia Beverly Hills Morocco and Fudge, so any kind of dark brown shadow will be absolutely fine. So here what I've done is I'm starting to pull that colour towards the sort of middle of the eye as such. So I'm using two brushes. I think it's the CVS brush. I bought the brush that I'm using right now. It was one of the first brushes I bought in my kit, and it's still going really well. It's one of my favourite brushes actually, and I'm just flitting between using that and a MAC 217 just to gently push the colour and drag the colour over the mobile lid. So as I said, I'm just working with those selection of eyeshadows just to create the intensity that I want, and add in, you know, a little bit more sort of reddy tones to the crease as such. So it's a case of just looking at it and just thinking, where do I need to place what colour, I guess it depends on the effect that you're going for as well. Just adding in a little bit more of that Makeup Geek's Grandstand now, just to really sort of make the inner corner pop. So I've just taken my liner brush and I've just dipped it back into the gel liner. What I'm doing now is just strengthening up that sort of winged eyeliner, and making it a little bit more crisp once I've done all the blending. And here I'm taking her own mascara. This is the Maybelline Colossal, and I'm just putting on 2 coats of mascara, and then I'm going to be placing on some false lashes as well. So my hand blocked this a little bit, but these are the Demure lashes in Aubrey, and I've just put a little bit of Duo Latex glue, the dark one, just onto the band, and I'm just placing these onto her eyelid. I've just taken the MAC 242 and a little bit of MAC's Mixing Medium, just patted that down really slightly. And now I'm going to follow in with MAC's Reflex in Copper. I do find that the MAC Mixing Medium sometimes can change the effect of reflex, so a kind of glitter adhesive might be a better option. And so now I'm just taking some liquid liner just over the band of the lashes now, just to tidy it up. So now moving on to skin, I've already primed Rima's skin with Laura Mercier Oil-Free Primer, and now what I've done is mixed two foundations together to get the correct tone for her skin. So we use Laura Mercier's Moisture Supreme, and that's Toffee Bronze and Honey Beige, so it's mainly Toffee Bronze with a little bit of Honey Beige. Toffee Bronze is too dark for her, and Honey Beige was too ashy for her. So by mixing it, we've created more of a sort of neutral colour for her. So I've used MAC's Select Cover Up concealer. This is NW40. I didn't want to work too heavily with things that were too heavy on her skin because she's not used to wearing makeup. And whilst I get that you have to wear a lot more makeup on your wedding day, I think you need to balance it between people and how they feel, and and the way they want to look as such. So we kept it still, with the coverage, but something that was a bit of a lighter formula. And so here what I've done is just taken my Laura Mercier Secret Camouflage brush, and I've just taken a little bit of the Derma Blend foundation, one of the warmer colours from the palette, and I'm just putting that really lightly around the corners of the mouth where you tend to get a little bit of darkness on Asian skin. And I've just, once again, just applied it with the brush, and I'm just using the Beauty Blender just to buff it away and keep it really light. So what I'm doing here is now just adding in a little bit of contour, so adding in a darker colour from the Derma Blend palette towards the back of the cheekbones, and I will also place some just around the jawline. Now she naturally has an area which is slightly darker just by the cheekbones, so I didn't want to put too much of that contour colour to almost enhance that, so instead of kind of putting too much, I've tried to sort of work with that slightly sort of darker shade that she has naturally towards the back of the cheekbones and just extend it down slightly. Then I followed in with a slightly sort of lighter colour just to bring out the cheekbones slightly just on top of that contour, and then just take a beauty blender and just keep it really nicely blended and light for her. She's, as I said, she's not used to wearing a lot of makeup, and I think you can still achieve, a flawless base and not have to load the skin with that much product if you use the correct products. So I'm now just going to start to set the skin. I'm just using a little bit of Laura Mercier's translucent powder just underneath the eyes. So just any areas where I've highlighted, I've just used Laura Mercier's translucent powder, and then what I will do is follow in with Sleek's contour powder, so the slightly darker powder, just to set the contour slightly, so it's a little bit more intense, but also it's setting the product that we've put below. So as you can see here, just starting to use that sleek colour just to start to set the contour and just intensify it ever so slightly, and make it a little bit more defined. So I've just used the Real Techniques highlighter brush I think it's a highlighter brush, it might be a setting brush actually. And so now what I'm doing is just sort of placing that colour just a little bit more around the hairline, just to sort of balance the skin out a little bit. What I'm going to do now is start to contour her nose to give her slightly sort of slimmer appearance to the nose. So I've just used a MAC 226 and just kind of follow the natural sort of shape, and then sort of pulled it downwards. The 226 is quite good for this because it's pointed, so when you pick up the colour is at the tip of the bristles, and then as you blend it sort of disperses it through the brush, but you get the precision with it being a sort of a slightly pointed tip. It's quite precise. So all we've done here is just taken a little bit of a brown eyeshadow on an angled liner brush, and we've just softly buffed that into the lower lash line. I think this is enough for her. I personally wouldn't add any darker colours to the lash line. We did try a bit of black eyeliner into the waterline, but on looking at it, I think it didn't look as clear and precise. It looks too muddy when I put the black eyeliner. I mean, it suits some people, but on some people it doesn't enhance their eyes as such. So all we did was just place that brown shadow with a little bit of mascara, and I did put a little bit of Illamasqua's Vow into the waterline as well, just to make it really nice and clear and to kind of take away from the redness of her eyes as well. As I said, she doesn't wear that much makeup, and so if you make it too heavy, she wouldn't like it anyway. So she was quite happy with how that sort of turned out. Now my battery cut out at this point, so I didn't actually manage to film the blush going on, but all we did was just use a really sort of plummy blush tone, and we opted for a softer lip because the eyes are quite heavy. We decided to go for a sort of lip stain followed with a lip gloss. So we patted on a deeper colour onto the lips just with the fingers, and then followed it off with a soft gloss. I hope you liked the look, guys. She really liked it. Thanks for watching and take care.